You are on your 9th assault of the same hill. More than 70 Americans are already dead on its slopes. And when you finally reach the top, they order you to give it back. This is Southcoast hack. How does that happen? How does any soldier keep going up? And what does it mean when the answer turns out to be the hill never mattered in the first place? To understand that, go back to May 10th, 1969, the A Shau Valley, northern South Vietnam. You are stepping off a helicopter into elephant grass taller than your head, and somewhere above you, through fog and triple-canopy jungle, is a hill you cannot yet see. The helicopter is already gone. The rotor sound fades into the canopy, and what replaces it is everything this valley has: heat, humidity, and the close, pressing dark of jungle that has never once considered your comfort. You are a private in the 3rd Battalion, 187th Infantry Regiment, the Rakkasans, part of the 101st Airborne Division. Your jungle fatigues are already soaked through. Your M16 is clean, for now. And the man to your left, checking the band on a steel pot, says the same thing everyone around you is thinking. Something big is happening here. He is right. Nobody has told you what it is yet. Operation Apache Snow began this morning, a multi-battalion push into the A Shau to find and destroy North Vietnamese base areas. The intelligence says there are enemy forces on the high ground to the northwest, a hill the maps call Dong Ap Bia, Hill 937 for its height in meters. The Vietnamese call it the Mountain of the Crouching Beast. You don't know any of that yet. You know what the valley is already doing to your body. The humidity here regularly exceeds 90%. That is not weather. That is something closer to being submerged. Your boots will start to disintegrate in weeks. The jungle will put fungal infections in your feet, your skin anywhere it folds. Your weapon, cleaned every night, will show rust by morning. The canopy above is triple layered, stacked so dense that on a clear day, visibility at ground level is less than 10 meters. In fog, it is less than that. Leeches drop from the vegetation overhead and attach before you feel them. The enemy hasn't fired a single round yet, and you are already losing ground. Your sergeant moves the column forward. The elephant grass closes behind you. What you do not know, what none of you know, is that the North Vietnamese Army's 29th Regiment finished fortifying Hill 937 2 days ago. Not positioning, fortifying. Bunkers built into the hillside and reinforced with earthen logs. Soviet-made directional mines mounted in the trees above the assault corridors, angled to rain shrapnel down on anyone coming uphill. Fighting positions layered in depth so that clearing one doesn't clear the next. The commander of the 29th Regiment chose this ground deliberately. He was ready before you landed. Before you fire a single round, the enemy already knows this hill better than you ever will. May 11th, day 1 on the slope. The 3rd Battalion goes up. The jungle closes around you immediately. Noise reduces to 5 meters, to 3. The platoon ahead moves by sound. The snap of brush, M16 fire spraying into the canopy, reconnoitering by fire, sending rounds into the dark to flush anything waiting. Then the screaming starts. Yells for a medic. The massive volume of AK fire and RPG explosions rolling down the slope cuts through everything. The first body comes back on a poncho stretcher. The PAVN 29th repulses the assault. You pull back. Casualties treated, tallied, and you hold your position and wait for the order. Around 2 in the afternoon, gunship support comes in. 2 UH-1 Hueys, low and fast. The jungle is so dense that target identification from the air is nearly impossible. The pilots misidentify Bravo Company's position as a North Vietnamese camp. They open fire with rockets and machine guns. 2 Americans killed, 35 wounded, by their own air support. The smoke clears. The jungle goes quiet again. The slope is still above you. Your operating assumption that at least your own side knows where you are just died on day 1. The danger on this hill is not coming from one direction. It is coming from above, from around, and now from behind. And tomorrow morning, your sergeant gives the same order. You're going back up. Day 2, day 3, day 4, 4 assaults. You know the faces of the men who came down, and the ones who didn't. The question you stopped asking out loud, what is this hill for, is still the only question that matters, and nobody above you is answering it. The artillery and airstrikes pound the hillside every day. The mountain absorbs it. The bunkers are built into the earth, not on top of it. The log reinforcements hold. The fallen trees become obstacles that slow your advance and protect theirs. Tropical rainstorms move through the valley and reduce visibility to near zero. You assault uphill in rain you cannot see through, toward positions you cannot see, with the jungle pressing in from every side. One soldier who has been on this slope through 9 of those assaults says it plainly. I've lost a lot of buddies up there. Not many guys can take it much longer. That man has been here longer than you. He still goes up when the order comes. The order always comes. Then it gets worse. Cobra gunships come in to support the advance and mistake the battalion command post for enemy forces. More Americans dead. More Americans wounded. The battalion commander orders the gunships out of the area, which means you go back up the next morning with less air support than before. Across the entire battle, 5 separate friendly fire incidents. 7 Americans killed by their own side. 53 wounded by their own side. You are fighting the PAVN dug into the mountain above you. You are fighting a jungle that is consuming your body. You are fighting a command system that cannot reliably find you from the air. And not one of those facts changes the order. The assault count climbs. 5, 6, 7, in rainstorms and fog, through churned red clay mud and destroyed vegetation. Against bunkers the bombing has not eliminated. By May 18th, reinforcements arrive. The 1st Battalion, 506th Infantry. The 2nd Battalion, 501st Infantry. South Vietnamese ARVN forces. 4 battalions now, where 1 began. You might think this means a new plan. It does not. It means a larger version of the same plan. May 20th, 10 in the morning. 4 battalions launch the final coordinated assault on Hill 937. You go up. Summit is reached around noon. The Rakkasans are first to the top. By 5 in the afternoon, Hill 937 is secured. The fortifications are destroyed. The PAVN 29th Regiment has withdrawn. American forces counted roughly 630 enemy dead on and around the hill. More than 70 Americans were killed taking it. Nearly 400 were wounded. You're standing on the summit of a mountain in the A Shau Valley, 1 mile from the Laotian border. The jungle stretches in every direction below you. The fog is coming back in. This is what 10 days of assaults were for. This is what all of it was for. It is red clay and broken timber and the wreckage of bunkers. The question you stopped asking out loud is still there. And on the summit, finally, there is no answer you can see from up here either. 16 days later, June 5th, 1969, the orders come down. Abandon Hill 937. You leave the hill. Within weeks, North Vietnamese forces reoccupy it. More than 1,000 NVA troops move back onto the ground that more than 70 Americans died to take. The same hill, the same slopes, the mountain of the crouching beast. Hold that for a moment. Not the politics, not the argument, just the arithmetic. The cost and the return, held in the same thought at the same time. That is a specific weight. It belongs to the men who carried it up that slope. General Zeiss, who commanded the operation, said it himself. The hill had no particular tactical significance. It was taken because North Vietnamese forces were on it. The Army's approach measured progress in bodies, attrition, the math that said if you kill enough of them, the war moves in your direction. Hill 937 was the clearest possible demonstration of what that math felt like from below the command table. In the aftermath, Senator Kennedy denounced the battle on the Senate floor. General Abrams was ordered to avoid such intensive ground operations going forward. The strategy shifted. Hamburger Hill became one of the last major American infantry assaults of the war. The institution changed course, it just could not change what the slope had already cost. The private does not set strategy. The private receives the order and goes back up. You took the hill, they gave it back. The battle that changed almost nothing on the map changed everything about how America fought this war, and what it asked of you to find that out. What does an institution owe the people it sends up the hill? History does not answer that. It just makes the question impossible to ignore.